Shalom, shalom. This is Fallen Yeshua. Welcome again to the rah-rah. And I think that, I'm going to do this video. I'm just going to shoot. I think sometimes people are looking for some rah-rah speech that's going to get you fired up and get ready to go, to make the moves that you need to make. And I think sometimes that's what hinders us, is that we're always looking for somebody to give us some rah-rah speech. We're always waiting for somebody to pump you up. When in reality, the saving of your household, brothers, the saving of yourselves, sisters, the preservation of yourself, the fulfillment of what Yah created you to be should be enough. But sadly enough, it's not. So I was asked a question, following Yeshua. What do? I want to get started. I'm new to this. I'm new to the preparedness. What do? Start preparing. And I mean that sincerely. When next time you go to the store, buy a bag of rice. I remember when I started preparedness in California, it was a simple thing that I did. It started off with buying, at the time, this is what I did, because this is what I knew. I bought some top ramen. I bought a lot of top ramen. And I put it all back. And I put some water back. And I put some salt back. Some random thing. I think I bought some rice and beans. I bought some canned goods. I made sure that my pantry, where I lived, was stuffed. I always made sure that my cupboard was stuffed. If I took a can out, I put it on a list, and the next time I went to a store, I replaced that can. I made sure that everything was stuffed. And as time went on, I started to get a better understanding of the direction I was headed and what I was doing. Because I hear so many times people, well, how do you start gardening? Well, here's what you do. Here's what I did. I bought some Rubbermaid totes. I put some soil in it, and I put some seeds in it. And I failed, and I failed, and I failed. Well, you're so successful now. Right. But I failed first. And one of the things is I wasn't afraid of failure. I wasn't afraid to fail and strive and move forward and then fall and get back up and strive and move forward. I wasn't afraid of that. I knew I wasn't going to get it perfect. I think sometimes people put seeds in the soil and they think that they're going to, as soon as they put them in the soil, they water them for a day or two and they didn't pop up. Y'all be pissed off if you had to grow Malabar spinach, which sometimes can take 21 days of watering after you scarcify the seed. It can take 21 days to get it started. You'd be pissed off because you're used to that. In 3 days, I want to see some fruit. I want to see evidence. You don't have the patience to walk this thing out. When I first left Arizona to come here, and I moved to this land, and the land was raw. The task looked daunting. The task looked unsurmountable. But I put my head down and said, you know what? I'm going forward. In fact, let me make sure I burn every bridge. I just thought I had to do a video about burning bridges. Well, in this case, it's a good thing to burn bridges. I burned every bridge that would allow me to go back. I burned every single bridge that would allow me to turn back. No, and then burning bridges does not mean you hurt people or you break relationships or friendships with people. I'm not talking about that sort of burning bridges, although sometimes that's necessary also. I just made sure that I could not go back, because my life was forward. The movement was forward. I hit the hole and I needed one more yard, and I just ran into a 6 foot, 310-pound defensive tackle, and I kept pushing forward because I needed to get that first down. We need that extra foot. We need that extra fight. We don't have that today. It's so sad in this faith today. It's a passive, it's a weakness. The men are weak, the women are weak, nobody has any fight, but yet everybody talks about when the bad times come, I'm going to persevere. When the bad times come, I'm just going to push through. No, you're not. You're showing that right now. Men, women get married. The first problem, the first fall. People get married and they think that, in 6 months, it's supposed to be a cakewalk. They don't understand the constant fighting that you have to do. I'm not talking about the other person, within yourself. Most people are not built anymore to do something Everything's so microwave. Everything's so temporary now. We rent a place, we move. We rent that place, we move. We rent that place, we move. Nobody sets roots anyway. No one knows how to grow a tree. Look at this big ass cedar tree right here. We don't know how to do that anymore. Actually, there's a pine behind it. This one right here, let's see, that's the cedar, and then the pine's right behind it. But nobody knows how to put a tree down and cultivate it and let it grow. Everything that we do today is putting everything in a planter. And we put the tree in a planter because I'm gonna move so many times that that tree is never gonna be able to set roots. So let me put it in a container. Nobody knows how to come out here and put a tree in this ground and cultivate it and grow it to that. And that's a small pine right there. Everything today, it has to be quick. We want it now. We don't, this is why, especially in the faith, we make some of the worst investors. We want everybody to invest in us, but when they look at our investments are poor. We want everything to be here and now. I want to order it and have it at my doorstep tomorrow. Most of us don't understand what it is to put in the work. To put in the work. To day by day, you move forward. And that's what harms our relationships. That's what harms our walk with Yah. That's what hurts our brotherhoods. And that's what hurts our marriages. Is that we want to have the immediate result. We want to see the end in 2 weeks. Otherwise, it's not worth it. And that's why so many come into the faith and fall away. People come into marriages and leave. People come into brotherhoods and stray away. That's why this stuff happens, because we want something, we want the fruit immediately. We've never taken the time to actually plant a tree. And that's one of the things about removing us from our agricultural lifestyle that the Bible says we lived. That's why it's been so harmful. We don't understand what it is to raise crops, to raise food, to raise trees, and for them to bear fruit. We don't know what that means anymore, because everything has to be here and now. It has to be, we want to see evidence of that now. And see, you're never going to move forward with that mindset. You'll take 10 steps forward and look ahead and be like, man, this path isn't getting any easier. I've taken 10 steps. It's like walking forward on this path right here. It's actually not a pathway, but I'm in the goat pen. It's like walking right here, right now, and you're walking and like, oh, okay, and you reach that stump, and you're like, wait a minute, I was supposed to. This should be easier by now. So you hop over that stump and you keep walking forward, and you see all those right there. You're like, well, it was supposed to be a lot easier than this. I'm leaving. Y'all must not want me here. Most of y'all don't understand. You couldn't be tested. You've been tested and you've been found lacking. One of the biggest things I could tell you about preparedness, for those that are asked, well, how do you do this and how do you do that and where do I start? Is you have to make sure you count the cost. And when you get started, don't look back. When you get started, you move forward. That's it. What if you have to go through that? You go over it. Well, what if you have to get through that? You get over it. That's what. Well, how? You get through it. How? You get through it. And most of you don't like that answer. Well, how would you get through that? Climb if you have to. But you're going to get cut and you're going to get scraped. Yes. Did you think that this walk was going to be scrapeless? Did you think that even in preparedness, it's scrapeless? You're not going to get bumps and bruises? Have you ever trained in anything? You have to be willing to put in that work. Then you can reap the benefit. Nothing was worse than putting the seeds the first time we got out here into this soil and seeing the level of failure that I achieved. But yet, you look at the gardens now and you'd say, wow. And come to understand that one of the biggest things I didn't do is I didn't build my soil. I'm even building this soil right here in this sheep/goat pen. I'm building the soil. Getting grasses in. One of the biggest things is if you don't cut the trees down to let the sunlight hit the soil, you won't have anything grow. Nothing is going to grow until the sun up there hits this soil. So it don't matter how many seeds you planted, they're not going to grow. And now every vegetable that we eat, and about 60% of potatoes that we eat, so 60% of potatoes and every other vegetable that we eat is grown here. But it didn't start that way. I've only been here, I've been here less than a decade, less than half of a decade, and it wasn't easy. But I moved forward. I didn't give up. I didn't look back. Now, if you're a giver-upper, then give up. Give up. But if you're somebody that just, you feel the stress, you feel the strain, you're like, man, it's hard. Yes, it is. Now keep going. This is not a rah-rah for you giver-uppers. For those of you who have given up, lay your ass down. Move off to the side. Let those that are still moving continue on the path. But for those of you that are struggling, don't give up. Keep moving. Keep moving. We're going to have a live stream tonight, me and my beloved brothers. 8 o'clock Central Standard. What is it, 8 o'clock Central Standard Time? I think it's 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. I believe it is. Well, we hope to see you there. We have these sort of conversations there all the time. And a lot of people are really thankful for it because they understand. It's just real talk. It's not, we're talking some real stuff, not make you feel good stuff. So if you think you're ready for some real stuff and not to make you feel good stuff, if you want a great religious experience, don't come to the stream. But if you want some just real talk, we'll hope to see you there. I'll post a link to the stream in the description, Disturbers of Yisra'el. I'll post a link. Bless y'all. And for those of you that are moving forward, don't stop. Move forward. And if you have to crawl just to move forward, hey, y'all will send you somebody that's going to lift you up and get you back on your feet as long as you're moving forward. Bless y'all. Shalom.